videos. In this video, I'm going to walk through a bunch of dives I did chasing the same fish. Go to the same spot multiple times, sometimes solo, sometimes with gear eye. It's brutal shore diving, 40-minute swim out to the zone, pushing to a secret ledge that holds huge snappers. Took multiple dives over the course of several weeks before I finally got my opportunity. Stay tuned and see what ended up happening. This is my first clip from the new zone. I got to the reef ledge, it looked fishy, like something big would be there, so I just threw my flasher randomly. This big Cubera was approaching it up in the water column. I know how skittish they are, so I just breathed up and headed straight for the floor. As I'm doing my descent, I catch a glimpse of him out of the corner of my eye, but I just keep heading to the bottom. I know from experience that with no chum in the water, it's no use chasing this thing. He was on his way out, but I decided to stay low and grunt, trying to pique his curiosity. But this fish was too smart and stayed far, far away. I held my breath, bounced my gun on the reef, grunted, threw a little sand, did whatever I could, but eventually I just had to go up.
Big Cubera. Wow.
I went down again, but as I was approaching the bottom, I could already see the fish peeling on his way out. Either way, in these scenarios, I always recommend just go to the bottom anyway, do the grunting, do the scratching, hit the gun, bounce the reef, whatever you can do, just in case that fish comes back, but obviously in this case he didn't. Here I saw a beautiful sama from the surface, which can be foreshadowing in this video because you'll see how many we find. Again, just sort of the same program, hit the bottom, do the espeto technique, and I'm just exploring this new reef and appreciating the landscape. At this point, the dives are about 60 feet, which is pretty ideal for my solo missions. Another little sama comes cruising in across the sand here. Pretty cool clip. There was a bunch of bait around on this day too, which is a great indication that you're in a productive zone. I ended up stoning that pork fish real quick just to get some chum in the water. There was some ballyhoo around, a little log, water was blue. I felt like I was hunting for wahoo. Really nice cero comes in here, one of my favorite eating fish, especially for sushi, so I'm making a drop on him and end up just barely missing. Here I saw a really weird shape on the bottom from the surface, so I head down to investigate. I still couldn't tell until I got close, but it ended up being a barracuda doing some weird behavior. Ended up shooting him, figured it'd be good to have chum in this sort of a scenario. Careful of the teeth here as always. Shortly after that, another beautiful sama comes in. I just sink down at him, approach him super slow, super tranquilo, totally relaxed. He's super chilling after having some bites of that pork fish. This was during the closed season, so I was able to get super close to tons of samas and get some amazing footage. I got to spend so much time just appreciating these fish, not hunting them, and learning how they behave. Here I'm just splashing that cuda body, making some noise, thinking the commotion might draw something in. It actually worked because another barracuda came in to investigate, and it brought along with it a huge bait ball that even had a few bonitos in it. It was pretty amazing having this blue water experience on a solo shore dive, and I ended up getting hooked on it. But this ended up being the end of day one, my first trip to this zone. I decided to go back the very next day because visibility is usually limited in this zone. I was rewarded right away by a giant lobster crawling across the flat reef. In this scenario, I know I for sure have him 100%. There's no way he gets away. This is one of the coolest clips because I got to spend so much time just looking at this lobster, filming it, and eventually grabbing him. I lightly grab the antenna, just use that until I can get my hands on the solid part of the body. And to make it even cooler, a nice sama comes in to investigate the commotion. If the season wasn't closed, I might have been able to grab my gun and blast him as well.
Whoa. Big male.
Another day with awesome visibility, so I just had to maximize. I tried just dropping my entire lobster in case that Cubera was around. I ended up seeing him cruising around over the sand, so thankfully I had a good breath and just ended up going straight to the bottom for as long as I could. I make sure to aim my body facing towards the deep sand where I saw the fish just to increase the probability of seeing him. Here I'm just kicking it on the bottom, chilling, then I remember I can make a sound with the lobster head. I rub the antenna against the body and make the sound that lobsters make when they're under distress. I figured if this squeaking doesn't bring that Cubera back, nothing will. I remember being super relaxed on this drop, so I just kept making the noise as long as possible, hoping something would come in. Here I start to feel the urge to breathe, and since I'm solo, decide to go up, but was able to hit the 2-minute mark on that dive. For day 3, I'm bringing Girai to the zone. Girai is the maestro de apnea. He's a freedive instructor, so I figured if anyone can get this fish, it's him. I don't have a clip of it, but on the first drop, Girai came back up and said he actually did catch a glimpse of the Cubera. He just stayed out of range. But the chum was doing its job, brought in a bunch of these little black durgans and some yellowtail snappers or colirubia. I was using my blue water gun here just in case I needed to take a long shot into the Cubera. This ended up making it super difficult to track these yellowtail snappers, and they were of good size, but this one was just way too close to me and I cooked the shot. Visibility wasn't as good on day 3, so we were just doing blind drops, and when you do blind drops, sometimes you end up hitting reef, and sometimes you end up hitting super dead sand, like in this video.
I landed in the sand.
It was about 70 feet to the sand, so we were a little too far. We got tired of the blind drops, and the Cubera was obviously gone, so we hit the shallows and ended up finding a beautiful pulpito. It's so sick just to play with these little tacos and get footage of them and admire their camouflage abilities. He's very small, so obviously we weren't going to eat this guy, but just wanted to play with him a little bit. As you can see here, they not only have the ability to change color, but also texture. He's a bit spiky now versus earlier he was smooth. It's a very beautiful and smart little cephalopod. Moments like this make me really appreciate spearfishing and free diving, because even though we didn't get that Cubera we were looking for and we swam out so far to get, we still had a good time just playing around with the sea life. Once we had our fun, we rearranged his home back the way it was and threw him back. I figured I'd return this rock to its original position too, so he had a place to hide. Another morning shore dive. This one is going to be solo. Gonna check my Cubera mark, see if the visibility is any good, and if not, we'll have to pivot. But we saw the fish yesterday, we know he's there. It just takes the skill and precision to go get him. Once again, back at the zone, blue water chumming, the deep ledge, hoping for that Cubera. Day 4 was actually insane. As you'll see, we see some really big fish. You might not be able to catch it in this part of the video, but I spotted a big mackerel smashing chum from the surface. I descended into the chum slick, turned my head around, and there he is. I tried the squid hand technique for a bit to lure him in, and since he's kind of aiming his body down, I figured maybe I can just hit the bottom and draw him in the old-fashioned way with the espeto. Going to the bottom is sort of my typical hunting strategy, but as I learned from this specific scenario, you're better off just chasing down these mackerels. Shout out to my boy Ale. He saw this video and said, just chase it next time. You gotta listen to that local knowledge, so as you'll see in a later video, I use the chasing technique with more success.
Really nice king.
I move on after the king, do another drop to the bottom, keep diving hard, and I'm greeted by another sama. The camera was a little low, so I got to see this sama the entire time, but even then I still got insane footage. Here I'm practicing the technique my boy Moth taught me from St. Lucia, where they just stuff their face into the reef. Like, you really gotta look down when a sama comes in. This entire time he's like right in front of my face, but you just can't see because of the camera angle. And what do you know, a few minutes later, an even bigger king mackerel shows up. This time I tried dropping my spoon, hoping to catch his attention more than the last one. Visibility obviously was not as good on this day, but I'm hoping the king is attracted by the spoon and it's able to buy me some time while I can get down to his level. In this situation, it's best to just glance around, see if he's eating the chum, but keep a focus on your flasher, because that's going to be the most attractive to the fish. Didn't end up seeing him on the way down, unfortunately, so just continued to the bottom for more espeto, just sitting and waiting. As time goes on, the little fish get closer and closer, but nothing big.
Fuck. That king was even bigger.
And I drop some more chum and see that nice white chin coming at me, so I know it's a sama. I just lean into this mutton here. The camera's a little low, but you can see him just chewing up the chum. Good sized mutton here, super chill, super tranquilo, within range for most of the time too. But I'm just having fun with it, practicing for when the season opens. On the way up, I even see an endangered species, the Nassau grouper. Missed part of the clip here, but I turned my camera on when I got this lobster. I had used my spear gun shaft to mark the hole, which is a great strategy. Pretty stoked. Both these lobsters ended up sharing with friends and then making like a stock out of the body. Here I get a little cocky, I'm swiping it backhanded and almost lost it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful langosta. Super grateful to eat this. Had to take out a black durgan for chum and then just kept on hitting drops to the bottom. Here's a nice clip of a classic mutton charging in. Oftentimes when you're hunting them or even doing blind drops, you'll see them just charge straight at you, then turn. It's actually really good practice because usually when my spear gun's in my hand, I'll jerk the gun, which often spooks the fish and you end up not getting them.
Sawbuzz.
Next drop, peek over that rock and end up seeing another mutton. So end up doing a bit of practice here, see if the grunting and dusting will be able to draw him in. Ends up coming in a bit, but wouldn't have been in range anyway, I don't think. Here I spot yet another mutton snapper from the surface. He's just sitting there over the sand. I decide to practice my dive bomb, just see what he'll do when approached from straight above. Personally, I've never had success dive bombing muttons. They always do this, where when you start approaching them, they just disappear. But let me know in the comments if you've ever had success dive bombing a mutton. It's 5:30 a.m. I'm heading back to my Cubera mark. Same short dive spot I've hit the last 3 short dives in a row. It's because I'm motivated to get this Cubera. Also, last time I was there, I didn't see him, but I saw 2 big kings. So what I'm gonna do today is head there at 5:30 a.m. Try to be in the water by 6, kick out to the spot. It's a half-mile swim, so about 20-30 minutes solo swimming, and I brought a little bit more chum this time, so I should be able to bring something up from the depths and hopefully shoot it right on time according to the plan. 6:30 and I'm at the ledge. Linda Nassau, checking out the chum. Another super beautiful sama, great size, buen tamaño, coming in, checking me out. This was one of my craziest clips because he's just so relaxed. I'm so relaxed, and the fish is just matching that energy. I don't know if these are the same samas or what, but they were getting so cool with me being around, just knowing I'm not hunting them. It was actually insane. They're coming way up off the bottom to smash chum, getting more and more comfortable. Absolutely feasting on chum. If this was in the season, there's no way I could resist a fish like this. Beautiful size, super good color, easily within range of a disgusting stone shot. But that was it for day 5, no Cubera. Day 6, I'm back at it at sunrise, starting to get tired out from doing all this diving, but on the first drop, there he is. All that grinding, all those hours of swimming for this moment right here. I'm solo diving early in the morning at sunrise. Low visibility, just this is my moment. Just me and the Cubera. I'd say these are the smartest fish I've encountered in my life. These are the smartest fish on the reef here, so I need to outsmart the Cubera.
Bro, that Cubera smashed the chum so loud.
I literally heard it eat the chum on the last drop, so I know he's around. And I dropped the head as my last hope. Watch closely as the Cubera comes up and looks at the head multiple times. I'm already committed to my drop, so I'm sinking very slowly, not even kicking my fins, just trying to make as little movement as possible and use the low visibility to my advantage. I still see the snapper just coming up, hitting it, going down, coming up, hitting it, going down. There's even a Sama there too, but I completely ignore him and I just descend. It's low visibility and I know he's skittish, so I need to take a shot whenever it's presented. It's a big fish and I'm alone, so I go for the stone shot. Completely blew it, shot right in front of his lips, thinking he was further away or that my gun wouldn't shoot so fast. I don't know what happened.
Ah, I had him. I fucking had him in range. I don't know what happened. I went for the stone. I was going for the head. Maybe he dodged it. Or maybe I just fucking missed. I swam out over half an hour, murky ass water at 6 in the morning for that one chance. For that one drop. And I blew it. Tough day. Probably my fourth time encountering him. Fourth or fifth time encountering the same fish. This is the closest I've been to shooting him. Somehow I missed. That's spearfishing, but man, one of these days I gotta get him an hour swimming there and back just for that fish. Several days of diving, many dives. All I've gotten was a cero mackerel and a yellowtail snapper. But here it is. Monstrous pokeball with the cero. You know, that's what it's all about.